our subject tonight is sleep. So just by show of hands, I'm guessing everybody's here because you have some sort of issue with sleep or want to know more about sleep, but who's the I can't get to sleep and who's the I get to sleep but I wake up? So can't get to sleep.
Like can't even.
Oh, two hands.
Well, you can, if you're both, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm both.
Okay. And then only wake up? You can get to sleep but you only wake up? Okay. A little bit of, okay, and then both. Okay, or all of the above.
Yes.
I'm not limiting to just one thing. Okay, all right. Very good. So we're gonna just go through some of the things that have worked well for ourselves, for patients, and some of the top recommended things to do for sleep. So, should we start with chemical things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's a good place to start.
So whenever we look at a health subject, it's important to look at it from a few different viewpoints. So we don't want to just look at, is this something that's caused by food I'm eating? We also want to say, is this also caused by what's going on in my brain? Could this be caused by maybe not getting enough physical exercise? So we want to look at three categories, which are physical things, chemical things, and emotional things. And that really helps us to get a 360 view of what's happening with a health problem. And that's not just sleep health, but just any sort of health problem that you're having, whether it's trouble concentrating or even a physical pain can be caused by what's going on in our head or what's going on chemically. So we're going to look at it from all different angles tonight. So, you want to talk about that one?
Yes. Okay. So medications can actually cause a side effect of not being able to sleep. There's several different medications out there that can do that. A lot of them are actually like antidepressant medications. They're known to actually cause a problem, what we call the circadian rhythm, your sleep-wake cycle. They can actually cause your hormone, your kind of stress hormone, to rise and not fall like it should during the course of the day. So it's really important to kind of take a look at the medications that you're taking and to make sure that if there is a problem with that, to make sure that you talk to your doctor about it, especially, I think antidepressants, anti-anxieties, those are some big ones. Some can actually help for a little while, and all of a sudden they kind of take a turn for the worst. So those are some things that you need to take a look at.
And that's a really important note, like just in general, if you are taking medication and
I know, bye Miss Lila. Bye.
that's all we all feel when we can't sleep. If y'all don't know Lila, she's usually very well disposition. If you are taking a medication and you have a health concern, it's always a really good idea to look that medication up. I really like drugs.com.
It's super easy to navigate.
Very easy. You can check the side effects on it because medications do have side effects. That's how they work, is they change how your body works. So before just trying everything under the sun to get a good night's sleep, that's a really good place to start and make sure that it's not a problem for you. So the next one, and y'all are gonna say, okay, obviously, but hear me out. Caffeine. So if you are a caffeine drinker at all, so I see some nods of yes.
You can admit it, I am. Okay, first step.
I drink caffeine too, but if you're having trouble sleeping, cut out the caffeine. So some recommendations are don't drink it after 2 p.m. Some recommendations are 12 p.m. But what I would really say is if you have trouble sleeping, try not to drink it at all, really, is a great suggestion. If you can't do that, maybe just first thing in the morning and see if that can possibly work for you.
Yeah, and only 1 cup too, and the 7-Eleven, big gulp is not a cup.
So I don't know why I can't sleep. Yeah, that's a good point. Now, chocolate is, you've got the caffeine component, but you've also got magnesium in chocolate. So magnesium is another, is actually something that you might want to consider. So if you find that caffeine bothers you, you might not want to go the chocolate route, but there's lots of other foods that have magnesium in them that would be perfect to try. So let me read you the list and then I'll tell you an easy solution as well. So dark chocolate, 1 square has 95 milligrams of magnesium, so that's really high up there.
There's one thing too I want to add to that is, have you ever craved chocolate? Okay, in a group of women, you all should be going like this, okay? Really, when you're craving chocolate, a lot of times you're craving chocolate like right before your cycle, or when you're really stressed out, you know what I mean? You've been there, right?
Yes.
The reason is because your body's actually craving magnesium. Because it's so high in magnesium, because magnesium is your stress mineral. So that's the reason when you're really stressed out and you're craving chocolate, think about what's happening right now and think about, are you stressed out? Why is it?
Now, I would say that spinach has 157 milligrams of magnesium, so why do we not crave spinach?
So I'm one of those weird ones that do crave spinach.
You awesome.
I hope it's not on my list when I do that.
Chard, like Swiss chard. Pumpkin seeds, that's a nice little snack.
I did that all day today.
Yeah,
like
the
the
peaches.
Yeah, I think your body's asking for a lot of
Yeah, it
magnesium.
must be.
Yeah, absolutely. And during times of stress, your body will really burn through that magnesium, like
A
Dr.
lot.
Taylor
That would
said,
be
so-
why. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Just thinking about new job and
Mhm.
Yogurt, 50 milligrams, so that's, if you're dairy tolerant, that's a great one. Almonds, black beans, and bananas. So we all think about bananas like for your magnesium and your potassium, but they really only have 32 milligrams per a medium banana. So while it does have some, you might want to go for your pumpkin seeds or your spinach above a banana.
And does magnesium help you sleep?
Yeah.
It's calming, okay? It's not like a sedative, but it's calming.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps your body kind of get into that mode.
One of a new supplement that we have magnesium wise is this Multiform plant-based magnesium. Magnesium is important for calming, it's great for sleep, but one of the problems that we get if we don't get it from food, so how many of you take a magnesium supplement?
I take a liquid one, but I don't know enough about
Okay,
liquid
so
magnesium.
probably a little over half the room. So magnesium, in order to be stable so that we can actually like put it in a bottle and take it, it has to be combined with something else. So that's where you get like your magnesium citrate or magnesium sorbate, whatever.
Yeah.
There's probably about 25 different ones. And those are all just, the magnesium was combined with this other element in a lab to make it stable so that it can go in a bottle and you can take it. But the problem with that is that in nature, magnesium is actually what's called multiform. So when you eat a piece of chocolate or spinach, you're actually getting a wide variety of different combinations of that. And so when you get just the one combination, your body can actually have a harder time digesting that because certain areas of the digestive tract absorb different combinations. And so if you have maybe a little bit of GI issue in one area of your digestive tract, you may not be absorbing the magnesium that you're taking at all. And this is also how you can end up with having digestive difficulties from magnesium.
Goes right through you.
Yeah. And so I'm not necessarily saying that those kinds of magnesiums are bad for you, just that you may not be absorbing it the way that you think that you are.
Yeah. It may not be the right one for you.
Yeah. And so we've actually just now found this product because there's not a lot of Multiform magnesiums out there. So what that Multiform means is that it comes from nature, so it has to be plant-based in some way. So this product, I say we'd have it maybe about a month or so.
Yeah.
A month or so. And it has 20 different types of magnesium in it. And it comes, all that's in it is Swiss chard, so that was on our list, right? And organic dried buckwheat, the green parts of it.
We've actually been to Senior Process Farm and saw it being grown. They even use it, it's really cool, they juice the buckwheat, and then all the husks, I guess, the leftovers, the fiber from it, they put out in the field, and they let it sit there and ferment. So that's what they use to actually help get the soil all nice and fertile again. So they even do like the 7 years fallow and everything, the way they do it.
Well, we went there maybe 10 years ago,
Is it really that long?
maybe 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to see a 10-year-old picture of us in hairnets, how long exactly. But the one thing that I really love about this company is they keep coming out with new products, and this is a new one for them. And so one of the really awesome things about this is that early research shows that this actually gets to the target tissue, so not just into your body, but actually to your organs and tissues that need it at a much faster rate than your synthetic ones that are made in a lab.
Yeah.
So let me see here, I had, so this one has 100 milligrams of the natural form, absorbs more and gets more to the tissues than 300 milligrams of a synthetic one. So you only need 1/3 to get more to your tissues, which is pretty cool. And you're not gonna ever end up with a digestive problem.
So what is it? What's the consistency of it? Is it like a little plant that melts on your tongue, or?
It's like, you mix it with some water, so it's a little bit like a greens drink.
Okay.
And they put a berry flavor with it, which I'm not sure if I love or don't love, but it tastes a little like a greens berry drink.
Okay.
Yeah, you can put this in your smoothie. I mean, I think it'd kind of add a nice, if you're doing smoothies.
Yeah, if you're doing smoothies, I would definitely, and it comes in these nice little packets. We're gonna give this one away eventually, so I'm gonna open it up. I'll see you open it.
Can I ask what the brand name is?
Yes, this is Standard Process,
It's a professional product, you can only get it through professionals.
and it's called EZMG, so the chemical name for magnesium, EZ-Mag. So it's in these little packets like this, and you just open one up and dump it in some water or in your smoothie, and really, they package it really easily.
Is it
What's
once
the
a day?
best
One a
time?
day.
What's the best time? Cause like smoothies are usually in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you get your magnesium, because like I said, it's not a sedative, it's a plant-based supplement that your body actually needs. So it could actually make you just feel more calm during the day, and therefore if you're more calm during the day, things don't rally you up as much, and so when you go to sleep, your mind's not like this.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter, it doesn't help
Yeah.
It doesn't make you
necessarily to
sleepy.
take it at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's over 300 enzyme processes that require magnesium. And so they did some research, let me see if I can find the numbers on that. They did some research on lab rats, here it is. Only a 10% deficiency created significant need for magnesium. So they cut back the lab rats, the amount of magnesium they got by 10%, and they found that with that 10% decrease, that they became quickly magnesium deficient. So the average American has about a 20% deficiency. So that means that most of us are magnesium deficient, and that's even if we eat really well.
There's also, we're all carb addicts in the US, and magnesium gets destroyed by sugar. So if we look at it at the molecular level, it takes, if you do 32, how does it go? You would need 32 molecules, if you look at the molecular level, 32 molecules of magnesium to take care of 1 molecule of sugar. Just think of what you're eating on a daily basis, how many carbohydrate sugars that you're eating. 1 can of Coke will basically just destroy, any magnesium you have. We're already 20% deficient already.
Yeah. 20 to 30%.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, there's what, 12 teaspoons of sugar or something like that in 1 can of Coke? Isn't that gross? Think about just sitting there eating 12 teaspoons of sugar.
So,
Yeah.
what is the best dose of magnesium? How do you, like, is one of those a day enough, or do you need
Yeah.
2, or, you know,
Yeah.
what's the?
You're gonna do better with a slow, steady increase. So your body will do much better if you just make it part of your routine and do 1 per day. Yeah. One of the other really amazing things about it was that they found that it reached brain tissue at a significantly quicker pace than any of the synthetics did. So that has implications for things like mood disorders, memory, concentration, anxiety, depression. So you could take the synthetic kind for a long time and it might never fully penetrate into the brain tissue, whereas this one does, which is good stuff, especially if you're thinking about it for something like depression. Exciting new changes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next on the list.
Alcohol before bed.
How do you guys like to have a glass of wine before bed to chill you out?
I mean, they call it a nightcap. Yeah. So it is supposed to be a relaxer, right? But it can actually backfire.
But some red wine knocks me out, and it's the best sleep
You know
I've
what?
ever had.
Well, at dinner time, you know, if you're gonna do it, you wanna make sure that it's at dinner time and not right before bed. You know, if you're gonna have that glass of wine, have it with a meal, and don't have 2. Women really don't do well with more than 1. Men can do 2. That's just the way our livers metabolize alcohol, it just is what it is. So if you're gonna have that glass of wine, have it with your dinner at, 6, 7 o'clock at night. And that way, it kind of runs through your system. Because what happens is in the middle of the night, around 2 and 4 in the morning, is that when everybody wakes up? Okay, how did I guess that? That's when your blood sugar goes whoosh like this, and then your brain gets very upset about this because it needs that glucose, and your blood sugar drops, called nocturnal hypoglycemia. So you basically just go downhill, your brain gets alarmed because it doesn't have enough to start running, and it wakes you up. That's why you wake up, you go, I'm like, oh, is it time to get up, right? You wake up wide awake and you don't know why. That's why. So that's one of the big things. It doesn't, and alcohol's not the only thing that does that. It could be that you're just in a roller coaster ride all day long, your blood sugar is going up and down because of what you're eating or not eating enough of.
Yeah, so things that would process quicker in your body, like carbohydrates, would then be more inclined to make you have that nighttime hypoglycemia. And things that take longer to digest, like proteins and fats, would be better choices close to bedtime. So I don't know if this is just something that some families do, or if this is kind of common, but does anybody do like nighttime snack of like a bowl of cereal or
Ice cream.
or some low-fat milk warmed up, something like that? So those are all things that could potentially put you on that blood sugar roller coaster, and so then your body is waking up in the middle of the night saying, oh my goodness, we're starving. What are you doing sleeping? We need to be out hunting and gathering.
And that's why you have to get up and go like this.
Yeah. Tart cherry juice. Anybody heard of this one? Tart?
Yeah,
For what?
yeah, tart cherry juice. Yes, for sleeping.
No, I don't.
Tart cherry juice. Now you want to get, if you're gonna be doing this, I'm gonna give you a brand name that's really good. It is. Oh, see now it's actually escaped me. It's a family farm, and they have it just. You can get it at you can get it at Whole Foods.
Not spelled.
No.
Knudsen?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, my phone.
No, it starts with an L, I think. It'll come to me. But it's one that's it's small family farm that owns it. You can get it at Whole Foods, and it's just tart cherry juice. There's no other juices that are in it, so it's just tart cherries. What you want to look at. So look at the ingredients. What tart cherry juice? Yeah.
In absence of that particular brand, as long as you just look at the label and make sure that it says tart cherry juice and not like tart cherry juice and grape juice.
Or
You don't-
other natural flavors.
You don't want to mix with anything, as long
Yeah.
as it's just straight tart cherry juice, you're in good shape.
Is it Lakewood?
Yes. See, I'm using Earthland. Oh, thank you. Yes, Lakewood. But what tart cherry juice does is it helps your body release melatonin. And as we age, we actually lose melatonin. When you're a baby, your melatonin is through the roof. That's why they can sleep forever. You know, because they need to sleep.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Not my kids.
Best case scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and okay, so this is something that I didn't necessarily have on our list, but it's important to talk about, is taking melatonin. So for a little while, melatonin had its darling day and everybody was taking melatonin. However, and it can be helpful on a short-term basis. However, I would really strongly recommend against taking it long-term. I don't know if anybody still is, but melatonin is actually a hormone, and introducing hormones long-term to your body can have other effects that you're not intending.
Yeah.
So we want to maybe stay away from that.
He gave me horrible nightmares.
I've heard that.
Wow.
Yeah, I've actually heard that.
I started taking it, and the first few days it helped, and then I had started having terrible nightmares.
Wow.
Yeah, and had to get off of it.
You're sleeping, but not well.
Yeah. I would get up and I'd be exhausted
Yeah.
because I felt like I'd been dreaming all night long.
Like,
Just,
yeah. Wow.
yeah.
Huh. I wonder what percentage of people that is. That's
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that as a side effect of it. Yeah.
Are we through with the tart cherry juice?
Unless you have a question.
Yes. How often and how do you take it and what time?
Yeah.
Right before bedtime, a shot, 2 ounces, and that's all you need.
That's your nightcap.
Yeah, that'll be enough.
The new nightcap.
Your nightcap.
That's all it takes. It doesn't take that much.
And then you're a real big fan of the sleepy time tea.
I really like the sleepy time tea. It's a ritual before bedtime. We're gonna get to rituals and stuff. It's my son actually says, okay, everybody want tea? It's about 8:15 at night, and that's when he comes out and he makes a tea for everybody. So everybody that wants tea, he sets all the tea glasses out. He puts the sleepy time tea bags in there, and he puts the water in. That's his job at night. So everybody gets your sleepy time tea at night. You know, there's also, there's regular sleepy time, and then there's sleepy time extra. That's the only thing extra about it's got valerian in it, which is just an herb that is one that helps relax you, just like chamomile and things like that does. But it's just a little extra, just in case you need that.
What if you wake up to go to the bathroom every 2 hours? Is that tea gonna affect that?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. If that's the case for you, then you'll probably want to drink it an hour before bedtime, and that way you have enough of a chance to get up and go before you go before you go to bed. It usually doesn't affect anybody that way.
It definitely wouldn't cause a stomach upset or anything like that.
Nope.
So let's talk about ritual then, since you brought that up.
So I'm a really huge fan of bedtime rituals. Huge fan. As a matter of fact, so much so that once I'm in bed, if you ask me to get out of bed, I will not do so.
She also will not answer phone or text. Not from personal experience.
Nope, won't happen. I even have my phone in my room.
Like, oh,
No,
she's already in bed.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you don't hear from me, you know I'm already in bed. And I go to bed rather early. But, you know, my ritual is different from any of y'all's, but it would be for me around 8:15 at night is when I start. And by 9 o'clock I like to be asleep, or at least reading or something. So mine is, you know, get the kids, the teeth brushed, get in my jammies. Actually, I probably already get my jammies by this time. I usually do that first thing.
7:30.
Yeah, as soon as I get home. Do all that, get myself ready for bed. Tea's being made while I'm doing all this other stuff. And then we all have our tea, and I go to bed with my tea, and I usually have some water next to my bed as well, and I read. You know, I read before bed every night before I go to bed. Sometimes I make it 1 chapter, sometimes make it 2, depends on how early I get to bed. But a big thing is don't read magazines, anything with pictures. And don't read anything that kind of gets you riled up. Like some of the research books and stuff I like to read, I cannot read that before bedtime.
Where others might want to read that.
Yes, because my brain starts going. I start thinking about things I need to do. I start thinking about patients that need this information, and then I can't go to sleep. So I just read, just stories.
Yeah, it's a great time for light reading, what they might call a beach read.
Yes.
Something that it's not super engaging, you're not dying to figure out what happens on the next page, but entertaining enough that you'll do it, right?
Yeah.
And do we read this on our Kindle or?
As long as it's a Kindle Paperwhite, that's, the Kindle Paperwhite does not set off those blue lights. That is the blue light from TV, from your cell phone, from your iPad. All those things cause a big, big problem before bedtime. So that's another thing. Shut off your electronics and 1 hour before you get into bed. Otherwise, your brain is gonna be going. Your sympathetic response, that fight or flight response is gonna be going. I don't care how boring the movie is, that blue light from the flashing blue light from the TV is setting your brain off.
Yeah, so the blue light stimulates your brain to wake up. So even if it's something that's really boring, if you're giving your brain the wake up signal, you're gonna have trouble then falling asleep. So if you think about it on a spectrum, like this is asleep and this is awake, and you're trying to go this way and get into bed and fall asleep, but you've got the blue light pushing you back this way, you're gonna have a harder time falling asleep. And when you do, it'll be a lighter sleep than you would maybe naturally fall into, so you're more prone to waking and having a harder time getting into that deeper sleep.
How many of you go to sleep with the TV on? Okay. Quality of sleep, even if you do get to sleep, like you feel like you need the TV to fall asleep, your quality of sleep is very diminished. So that's why you don't wake up feeling rested. Okay, because it's already done the number on your brain.
What if your eyes are closed and you're not watching it?
You still have the flashing light. Yes.
No, tell me that's not
I know. You still have the flashing light. It still goes
really
through.
tight.
So let me show you something.
Okay, good.
So these are actually readers, but these you can probably see. Can you see the little yellow tint? The yellow tint that it has right here. These are what they call blue light glasses. How many of you sit at a computer for your job? Okay, how many of you like to sit at your iPad just for fun all day playing Candy Crush?
Candy Crush so last year.
I hate any sort of games, so I have no idea what's the deal is. My family underestimates my hatred for video games. So,
You're walking a thin line.
I'm telling you. Okay, how many of you guys have a smartphone? Okay, everybody. So
Yeah.
you need these glasses. So if you have readers, if you need readers like I do now, then that's what I have. I've got just these. They're $12 on Amazon. They're not that.
What are they called?
What are they called?
Blue light glasses.
Okay.
Look, these are called gamma ray optics. It's the brand name.
So one other thing that I found kind of helpful, and I just did this by accident when I couldn't get to sleep one night, is use my meditation technique that I use in the morning to help me transition into sleep. And man, it almost works every time. When I turn my brain off and try to go into that technique that I use.
What is the technique you use?
Well, so I use a mantra because I did the transcendental meditation, learning class. And so I use my mantra and then gratitude and appreciation mode. So it turns your mind off the busy things and brings down, changes your vibration a little bit.
Yeah.
And man, every time I think this isn't gonna put me to sleep, then I go right to sleep.
And I wonder if people who haven't taken that class, it might do something like, say a nonsense word, or even maybe the word sleep. And that particular method is about imagining yourself like coming down, almost like you're going underwater, like into a silent place in your brain. So you might maybe even just kind of like try and go, in your head. You're probably don't want to do this out loud, just like, especially if you sleep with someone. Sleep, 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 sleep. And then kind of like you're imagining your brain kind of falling into, I'm a scuba diver, so my particular visualization is when I come off of the boat and start sinking into the water down to the bottom, to the sand, and then kind of imagining yourself weightless at the bottom.
Everybody can make up their own.
There are lots of different ways of meditation, and I'm sure there are much more qualified people to teach you
But
that
it's a
than me.
start, but it's a start for people who are interested in
Yeah.
learning some meditation techniques, starting somewhere and then getting a little more sophisticated with it.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Would you repeat the name of it that was on
yeah.
your glasses?
Gamma ray optics.
And if you go on Amazon and just search like
Blue light glasses.
blue light glasses or yellow tint glasses would also get you what you need.
Yeah.
And those of you who wear prescription glasses, there are now options for a yellow tint that's not so, it's not
so yellow. I mean, these are $12, you know.
yeah.
So you can just talk to your optician and they'll be able to, I think it's like $100 extra on top of your prescription.
And that, I would recommend that if you sit all day on a computer. There's implications for having different sorts of eye diseases as you age because of all the blue light that we're now consuming.
Yeah, macular degeneration
Yeah.
is the #1 growing because of all the blue light we're consuming. And these will help you with that. So these are readers, but you can get them without needing the readers in them too. You can get them with or without magnification.
So those yellow tech glasses that they advertise on TV is not the same, it's not a blue light, it's for ultraviolet, I think.
Yeah, there are differences, so you wanna get those specific blue light ones. I know which ones you're talking about that actually takes glare down and make sure,
Oh,
yeah.
like night driving glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are a little bit different. Those are a little bit different.
Not for computer or TV, but also, do they have amber light bulbs?
Oh, like for, if you have a LED light that's blue, is that what you're talking about?
Well, I think just to, I've heard or read somebody say that they have certain light bulbs that after a certain time, they only use this
Mhm.
type of light bulb.
I haven't looked into that, but I know
Yeah.
a lot of the new LED bulbs, you can get ones that are more yellow or amber tinted. So that might be something to consider for the bedroom. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I don't know much about that either, but that, I'll be Googling that soon.
Yeah, and along that line, my particular struggle is not going to sleep, but I had a struggle with waking up like very quickly, very like high key, like starting my morning like super stressful. And this is one of those things where like you walk around in a shoe that kind of rubs your foot and you don't notice it until you have a blister, right? Like just one of these things that you're allowing to happen in your life that you know, after you stop it, you don't know why that happened in your life. But I found out that the alarm clock was really startling me awake and starting my day with a huge stress response. And it was kind of like towards the end of the night, I was having some fitful sleep because I was like anticipating the alarm clock jarring me awake. So this may be one of those things that you've never really even thought about because of course we might wake up with alarm clocks like our whole life. But just the next time you use an alarm, decide if it is jarring you awake, and there are other options. And the option that I really like is it's an LED light bulb that goes along with an app, and it's called Uplight, and it'll really slowly, you set the times that you want it to start a sunset routine. So I have this just in my bedside lamp, and it'll start to slowly go into the amber and red light toward the end of the night. And then in the morning, it'll slowly bring the light back up for me. And so that gives my body a chance to begin to wake up before my actual alarm clock tells me it's time to get out of bed. So, yes ma'am.
I've heard that the digital light from the alarm clock is not good for you to
Yeah.
be close to your head.
Yeah,
Is that what you've heard too?
you definitely want a pitch black room. So the rule of thumb is you shouldn't be able to see your hand in front of your face.
Oh, you're talking about the actual EMF light, is that what you're talking about?
The light from the alarm clock, the digital. light.
That just plays the time.
The,
Yeah.
okay, red is better than, say, your blue, I believe.
Yeah, red is a.
Yeah, and a lot of the new lights are blue, and they do set off a pretty big light in the room.
Yeah, but I would say, since working to get our room pitch black, if I had a red alarm clock there, it would definitely, I would be aware of that, it would be a problem for me. So as you work toward getting your room darker and darker, you do wanna eliminate things like that.
Even the Himalayan salt lamp.
Yeah, I wouldn't have that on.
Yeah, not on while you're sleeping.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I thought you were, yeah, what was the light called again that
It's-
you use?
Up, UP, up
UP.
light, yes. Karen?
Oh, I was wondering if you're gonna touch on, having, like you said, your cell phone out of your room, just as much
Yeah,
EMF, out as much as you can. Like,
Yeah.
I've even heard about little babies, like when, this man, he just had a very small house and had a lot of electronics on, and when he had somebody come in to measure all that radiation and make some drastic changes, then for the first time, his baby was sleeping really well.
wow,
How
yeah.
much of
Yeah.
a difference it can make.
Yeah, EMFs are something that I think in the coming years, we're gonna understand what they're doing in our body more. Because we are electrical beings, and that is an electrical frequency, and we have them, I think a little bit wouldn't probably make that big of a difference for us. I mean, there's natural EMFs, but now we have like 5G where we can download an entire movie in a half a second and have driverless cars and all of those things that we kind of think are cool, but it does have a big effect on our body. So yes, reducing those as much as possible is a good thing, not just for sleep, but for health in general. Yeah.
And, I mean, there's many ways to do that. I mean, there's actually whole house protection that you can get from EMFs, from your computers, your cell phones. I mean, we always have some protection on our cell phones because they're close to our brains. So you wanna make sure that you have some EMF protection, on your cell phones. There's so many different companies out there right now that do that, that can kind of keep the stress level in your brain and your body down during the day. So when you go to sleep, you're not still vibrating at that level.
Yeah. So some other important things are, or things that you might want to try are a weighted blanket. So these have become kind of popular.
Especially like with the dogs that are afraid of thunder and things like this. But really, they're good for humans too. How you guys no matter how hot it is, how many people have to have like a cover on them? I do. I have to have a cover on me. I really like the weight of a blanket on me.
Yeah.
It's like, I like that feeling. It's very cozy.
It's a cozy feeling. It
Yeah.
just makes you fall asleep. better.
Yeah.
It
I
stays-
just saw a commercial for a weighted blanket last night.
Yeah. And they've done research with people who have autism and people who have PTSD, and they're supposed to really be able to help with both of those as well. So, and you can have your big snuggly blanket or your weighted blanket because your room should be 60 to 65 degrees. Perfection.
Does it have to be weighted, or can it be a comforter?
It can be. Yeah, weighted blankets are just a specialty. It's like a step up. But a nice comforter, something that makes you feel very comforted is something that is good. I think everybody has their own needs.
Yeah. I would say if you're somebody that has sleep issues and anxiety, you might really want to try the weighted blanket. I think that would be probably something that you'd love. So exercise does play into this as well. So exercise is, you don't want to do it too close to bed because it'll rev you up. But sometimes we can't fall asleep well because our bodies really just haven't moved that much during the day. So our bodies crave movement, and we need some sort of daily movement routine. So it doesn't have to look like going to the gym. You could do an evening walk. Of course, trying to get your 10,000 steps in is awesome. That would be a great kind of routine to get into, but something that moves your body, preferably at the beginning of the day. So your very best time to do it would be in the morning time. The closer that you get toward bedtime, the more likely it is to interfere with your routine. So exercise important, but not near bed.
Because what exercise does is it increases your cortisol level, which is what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's that hormone that actually your cortisol, your sleep-wake cycle rhythm. Cortisol should be high in the morning, and it should just go like this, like a nice thing as you go into bed, just like that. That's how it should fall naturally every single morning and every single night like that.
Don't mess with
Exercise.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, exercise will whoosh, spike it right back up again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. There was someone close to us she was like, I can just never sleep. I never sleep. Well, she was going to the gym after work every night, and when she switched that to the morning, she found out, oh, she could be a morning person, and she could go to sleep on time. So that was like a really simple fix for her. A big thing. And then the other thing is that we need to tell our bodies when it's time to wake up with light, like we talked about with the blue light. But it's also important to make sure that you get sunshine light during the time of the day when you should be awake. So the sun has been really vilified in our culture for a while, and it's time to kind of let some of that go. Sunlight is important. It will tell your brain when it's time to wake up. And when your brain knows when it's time to wake up, you can reset those circadian rhythms so that your body also knows when it's time to fall asleep and stay asleep. So if you use that, like you get some sunshine on your face, ideally on your belly too, but if you can't manage that, just your face is fine for the sleep. In the morning, and then have your pitch black room at night, then you're really telling your body, I'm seeing a lot of people yawning. All this,
Talk about
you guys, all this sleep, you're gonna have the best
great
sleep.
night's sleep tonight.
You guys are killing me, I'm gonna yawn in a second. So if you have like the bright light in the morning and then a pitch black room at night.
Yeah, and that's why it's been so hard to get up in the morning, because it's been so dark
Yeah.
in the morning, right?
Yes.
Right? And you
Yes.
gotta figure out, that's why, because we are really ruled by the sun.
Yeah.
That whole sleep-wake cycle, we're ruled by it. In a perfect world, we would wake up when the sun comes up and we go to bed when the sun goes down. I mean, typically we need more sleep in the wintertime, right? Because our immune system.
Well, the farmers used to do that. When I was little, my grandparents, that was more of their rhythm.
Yeah, okay, we're changing our hours.
Up when the sun's up.
Yep, not open up the doors yet.
Okay, I have some things on my phone.